So, you got a Jewish guy? This is what we look like? I'm a Jewish guy. It's a holiday. There's a Jewish holiday every day of the year, basically. There's a classic joke. What 9 words describe every Jewish holiday? They tried to kill us. We won. Let's eat. So I not long ago, I did the JCC, the Jewish Community Center in Salt Lake City. I was the only one there. They just could have been just called the CC. So here's another joke for you. You know, you like a good Jewish joke, right? Yeah. Okay. So this rabbi is standing in front of his congregation, looks at his notes, he squints, he says, "How about this? Morris Fishberg is 111 years old." And the congregation goes crazy, a standing ovation for Morris Fishberg. Then the rabbi squints, he looks at his notes, he goes, "I'm sorry, Morris Fishberg is ill." So I grew up in Queens, went to Hebrew school. Do you know what Hebrew school is? Jewish educational school. I went to Hebrew school. I went to a very strict Hebrew school. We had nuns. Our Lady of the Finkelsteins. For confession, we'd say 5 Hail Sylvias. We used to sing Oy vey, Maria. I could hear the laughs kind of in waves as people figured that out. We have an interpreter coming out soon. Like most Jewish men in New York growing up, because it was cool, my main goal in life was to be mistaken for Italian. Any Italians here? I guess the New Yorkers are also here from apartment 4D back there. Yeah, my brother-in-law's Italian, Vinny. He's got one of those great Italian names with all the vowels. His last name is A-E-I-O-U-O. And sometimes Y. Tough Italian guy owns a funeral home. He knows who's coming in a week in advance. And he's a macho guy. He shaved his head to look great, so I tried it. I looked like a giant thumb. Car stopped. I thought I was hitching. I went cross country. I didn't even want to go. In fact, I just hitchhiked my way to Provo. Actually, I flew into Provo on an all-night flight from Salt Lake. Spirit Airlines. I flew on Spirit Airlines. Anybody here flying Spirit Airlines? It is the worst airline in the world. You got to buy everything on Spirit. You want luggage, of course. You want water. It's $3.50 for water. My worst fear is the plane's going down. You hear oxygen, $3.50. Oxygen. Get your oxygen right here. And they're the worst. I checked 1 bag to Cleveland, 1 to Detroit, and 1 to Maine. She says, "Sir, you can't do that." I said, "Why not? I did it last week." I'm staying in a nice hotel here, which is great. Very happy with your hotel here. I've stayed in the worst hotels. Yeah, I stayed in a hotel last week. They stole my towels. So I travel all the time. I was just in France. Yes? We. You had a better accent than I have. The French hate it if you botch up their language. If your accent especially. They look at you like this. There's a happy Frenchman. There's a Frenchman asleep. This is a Frenchman running, jogging. It's like their whole country's overdosed on blue cheese. I smell blue cheese. Do you smell blue cheese? I smell big hunks of blue cheese. Maybe it's an American. The key there is you have to fake it. You have to act like you know their language. Every time they'd ask me something, I'd break into a bad French accent. Oh, but of course. Pepe Le Pew. So I went to this 5-star French restaurant, the Café U. You walk in, you take a deep breath, and you go, ew. So I called the waiter for my absolutely worst French because I knew I'd tick him off. I said, hey, Garson. Delightful guy. Yes, Garçon. I said, okay, Garçon. He gave me that French Elvis lip. The whole meal expecting to go, merci, mama. I smell blue cheese. A hunk and burn blue suede cheese. So I said, we'll have a bottle of Moet. It's Moet. Well, pardon moi, Francois. Forget that. We'll have about 2 of blank de blank. It's Blanc de Blanc. He gave me that pompous. So my friend points out all the silent letters and vowels you don't pronounce in French. I said, great, we'll have a bottle of... He said it's... Then I ordered some food. I ordered un verre de bœuf. I got a glass of beef. Beef tartare, raw meat in a glass. I don't know you, but I like it. I like it well done. I like beef char. I like it from a cow fell asleep or smoking in bed, okay? So the meal's over with. Francois gives me the check. I give him my credit card. Fancy restaurant. He's filling out the numbers on the credit card slip for me. And he has the nerve to ask me, he says, Monsieur? I said, Mon sour. He says, what shall I fill in for the tip? I said, au contraire, pal. You can leave it blanc. So let me hear from the any newlyweds here. Well, congratulations. How's it going so far? Did you hear the enthusiasm in his voice? How's it going so far? Great. Just great. Right, honey? So congratulations. I fell into a trap with you two, and that was I always ask newlyweds, and I really want to know, how's it going? You know, you always hear that. Just married, how's it going? How's it going? First few months, I always hear, great, we love it, it's great. A few months later, how's it going? Takes work. This thing is like a full-time job. You punch in and you never punch out. A few months later, how's it going? We're talking. Well, she's talking, I just act like I'm listening. A few months later, how's it going? I have no idea. When I got married, the rabbi said marriage was a lifelong conversation. He failed to mention it was a one-way conversation. I didn't get a word in after do. I used to beg for the silent treatment. I've been married for 14 years. That's 98 in husband years. I wish that was a joke. We were in England on the tube, you know, there's subway in England, and this stately British gentleman in front of us passed gas. And it's one of those deals where he knew that we knew when we knew he knew we knew. And he looks at us, he goes, terribly sorry, trouser cough. I said, that's a trouser whooping cough, sir. If you know what I'm talking about, and I think you do.